The night sky over occupied territory lit up with a massive explosion as Ukrainian fighter jets carried out one of their boldest missions yet. A Russian military base, packed with fuel, ammunition, and command posts, was reduced to ashes in a matter of minutes. Eyewitnesses described a fireball so large it could be seen for miles, while Russian soldiers scrambled in chaos, unable to contain the destruction. The attack wasn't just another strike, it was a devastating blow that may shift the balance of power in this war. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving deep into the full breakdown of how Ukrainian jets destroyed a major Russian base, why this operation is so important, and what it means for the war moving forward. Please subscribe and like this video. Your support helps us keep bringing these critical updates from the battlefield. This strike didn't happen by chance. Ukrainian intelligence had been watching this Russian base for weeks, monitoring troop movements, supply convoys, and fuel storage. The location became a critical hub for Russia's logistics, supplying units across Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia. If Ukraine could take it out, it would cut off Russian forces from the resources they depend on. Under cover of darkness, Ukrainian pilots prepared for the mission. Flying at dangerously low altitudes, they avoided detection from Russian radar. At the right moment, they unleashed precision, guided munitions western, supplied bombs modified to work with Ukrainian jets. Within seconds, the base erupted into flames, ammunition depots exploded like chain reactions, fuel tanks went up in massive fireballs, and command centers were destroyed. Videos from the scene captured secondary explosions that lasted for hours, proof of just how much equipment Russia had packed into one location. The destruction was undeniable. Satellite images from the following day confirmed the base was wiped out. Russian channels tried to downplay the event, but even their own military bloggers admitted the losses were catastrophic. Some criticized their commanders for stockpiling so much equipment in one vulnerable place, calling it a gift to Ukrainian pilots. What makes this strike so significant is its strategic impact. Without that base, Russian forces in eastern Ukraine may face shortages of ammunition and fuel. This weakens their ability to launch new offensives or resist Ukrainian counterattacks. It also boosts morale in Ukraine, showing that even deep Russian positions are not safe. For Moscow, it's a nightmare reminder that no matter how much territory they hold, Ukraine can still hit them where it hurts. Russia, of course, has threatened retaliation. Already, they've launched missile barrages against Ukrainian cities in response. But analysts say these strikes are more about revenge than strategy. Destroying civilian infrastructure doesn't rebuild a lost base, and Ukraine is becoming more resilient with every attack. Western officials, meanwhile, point to this success as proof that Ukraine deserves more advanced aircraft like F-16s. With those in play, even more Russian assets could be at risk. This mission also raises questions about NATO's role. Did Ukraine act alone, or was Western intelligence feeding real-time data into the strike? Moscow insists NATO was involved, though Ukraine stays deliberately vague. That ambiguity puts pressure on Russia, forcing them to guess whether they're fighting one enemy or many. For Russian troops, the psychological effect is devastating. Survivors described fleeing the scene as flames engulfed fuel depots and vehicles exploded around them. The chaos spread online, with soldiers venting their frustration at incompetent leadership. Such open anger from within Russia's ranks is rare, and it highlights just how badly morale has been shaken. Internationally, the strike has sent shockwaves. European leaders praised Ukraine's boldness, Washington stressed the importance of continued support, and in Moscow, the Kremlin tried to shift the narrative, claiming minimal damage. But the evidence, video, photos, satellite imagery tells a different story. The base is gone, and Russia knows it. Now let's break this down further. Militarily, the loss of this base doesn't just hurt Russia's logistics, it also disrupts their planning cycle. Bases like this are command hubs where operations are coordinated, fuel is distributed, and heavy equipment is staged for deployment. Destroying such a hub forces Russia to move supplies farther from the front, lengthening supply lines and increasing vulnerability. That means Ukrainian forces will have more opportunities to strike convoys and choke off reinforcements. Economically, the strike carries a heavy cost for Russia. The destroyed equipment included tanks, armored vehicles, and missile systems worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Replacing them will take time and resources Russia is struggling to afford under sanctions. Every time a base like this is lost, Russia burns through reserves faster than it can replenish them. Politically, this is another embarrassment for the Kremlin. For months, Putin has insisted that Russia has full control over occupied territories and that its military infrastructure is secure, but images of a destroyed base undermine that claim. Russian citizens watching the war unfold online are starting to ask hard questions about why their army keeps suffering losses despite its size. Meanwhile, for Ukraine, the strike boosts confidence at home and abroad. Civilians in Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa, who endure constant missile strikes, see this as just as proof that their country can hit back. Internationally, it strengthens Kyiv's case for more weapons. Western partners can now point to this strike as evidence that advanced support translates directly into battlefield success. Another important angle is timing. Analysts note this strike comes just as Ukraine is preparing for another phase of its counteroffensive. Weakening Russian logistics now may create openings for future ground operations. By knocking out supply hubs, Ukraine isn't just reacting, it's shaping the battlefield for what comes next. And then there's the psychological warfare. Ukraine didn't just destroy a base, it shattered Russia's sense of security. Soldiers at other bases are now on edge, constantly wondering if they're next. That kind of stress wears down morale and makes mistakes more likely. But what happens next? Russia could attempt a major retaliatory strike, but with its resources stretched thin, such actions may be limited. Ukraine, on the other hand, will likely continue probing for high-value targets, building momentum with each success. Western intelligence support will play a key role in guiding these operations. The coming days will be critical. If Russia fails to respond effectively, the loss of this base will stand as a symbol of weakness. If Ukraine follows up with more strikes, Russia could face cascading failures across the front, and if NATO becomes more openly involved, the war could escalate in ways that threaten the entire region. So, as we close this extended breakdown, remember, this wasn't just a strike on one base. It was a calculated move in a larger strategy, one that exposes Russia's vulnerabilities and strengthens Ukraine's resolve. The images of that burning base will be remembered as a turning point in this phase of the war. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates as we continue to follow this rapidly unfolding story. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and support our work as we bring you the truth from the front lines of Ukraine.